and Erling Haaland. Real Madrid are in all white. I think it's fair to say that the supporters of Real Madrid got the memo. They were encouraged to wear white. There's always that block of white behind that goal whenever you come to the Bernabeu Stadium away towards our left-hand side, where I guess their ultras are. They always wear the white t-shirts. But with the exception of, I think it's the Manchester City corporates over on the far side, on the bottom tier, to a man, to a woman, to a child, the majority are wearing white here, Chris Waddle.
Yeah, when you were describing the setting there before the game and all the colours and the people holding up the placards, and I just looked at the Man City bit here on the right hand side. They've got the top tier and the second tier down, and they were just amazed, I think, looking at it.
Well, we are available on the 5 Live final score tonight on the red button, as well as the BBC iPlayer. Chris knows that Sheffield Wednesday are behind to Norwich City in the Championship. A couple of other latest scores: Newport County lead Accrington by 1-0 in League 2, and also Bristol Rovers 0, Reading 1 is a latest score in League 1. But we'll keep you up to date with the goals as they go in here on BBC Radio 5 Live as we are underway. We'll keep you fully in touch with what's happening at the Emirates as Arsenal take on Bayern Munich in North London. But here in the Spanish capital, it's Real Madrid against Manchester City. And straight away Vinicius picks up the ball over on that far side and drives forward. They've doubled up on him. He sends over the cross too. And it was aimed towards Bellingham, and Manchester City now with Waddle, who was a doubt ahead of the game. His forward ball finds Grealish. He's over the halfway line, Jack Grealish. He's carried it a good way. And then as the challenge comes in from Tchouaméni, and the referee has gone for an early yellow card, and Tchouaméni will miss the return leg next week. He is one of a quartet of Real Madrid players on a yellow card. Only Ruben Dias for Manchester City is on a yellow peril. They will get wiped after the last 8. But Tchouaméni, for the first foul of the game in the opening 60 seconds, is shown a yellow card, and he will not be playing at the Etihad for next week's return leg.
Very naive on a yellow card. Jack Grealish was actually losing his balance. He was running into the ground. He wasn't really going anywhere. There was 3 white shirts around him. Didn't need to go to the ground, and it is a yellow card, definitely. And as you say, he misses the next game.
We welcome listeners to BBC Radio Manchester as well, to the coverage here of BBC Radio 5 Live, available on BBC Sounds too. Manchester City have got a free kick. They're playing in their change strip from right to left. Grealish stands over it. Bernardo Silva is the other player. The French referee, Francois Letexier, has just shown his fellow countryman an early yellow card here, as it will be Bernardo Silva who goes for goal and finds the back of the goal. Brilliant start for Manchester City. What awareness. The keeper wasn't expecting that. And Bernardo Silva, with a moment of genius, gives Manchester City the dream start. Real Madrid 0, Manchester City 1. Bernardo Silva with a direct free kick.
I've got to say, him and Jack Grealish were looking at it, and the goalie was on the left-hand side of the goal, and you start thinking there is a gap there. If he hits it hard enough, you never know, do you? And he's got nothing to lose. It's so early in the game. The goalkeeper, for me, even when he gets across there, Ian, he should save it. He gets a good arm on it, and he pushes it into the ground, bounces up into the roof of the net. Great vision, great awareness by Bernardo Silva to see it, but I've got to say, goalkeeper's made a rick.
Well, what a start for Manchester City. Bernardo Silva, he'd spotted it, he hit it low, left-footed, really wrapped his foot around it. And as Chris Waddle says, Andrei Lunin, the Ukrainian international, did get a hand to it, couldn't keep it out. And it's funny, you know, because after Thibaut Courtois was injured back in the summer, that was a clash of heads. Guardiola knows that back on his feet okay against Carvajal. Real Madrid supporters aren't happy with that. But Kepa Arrizabalaga arrived on loan from Chelsea, and really since November, Lunin has established himself as a number 1, and only yesterday Carlo Ancelotti was saying that we've discovered a goalkeeper who gives us confidence, and we're in no hurry for Courtois to return. He might be having second thoughts after that.
I don't think he's playing the game at this stature though, Ian. I watched him in the tunnel and that, and he looked very nervous, didn't say anything to anybody. Everybody was shaking hands, and he whether he was trying to focus or what, I don't know, but he's got to put his hand up there and say, you know, I should have saved that.
Bernardo Silva then with his 11th goal of the season, and Manchester City lead by 1-0. Another goal at Hillsborough then, Chris Coles.
Bad to worse for Sheffield Wednesday, who now trail Norwich by 2-0. Wednesday over elaborate in their attempts to play out from the back. Borja signs on hand to finish comfortably for Norwich, who lead at Hillsborough against Wednesday by 2-0.
4 minutes played here in the Bernabeu. Still Arsenal 0, Bayern 0 in the early stages. Next week we will give you the opportunity for a choice of listening for the return legs of the quarter-finals. That's on Wednesday, but Manchester City here, we were talking before about what would constitute a good result for them. As Vinicius Junior picks up the ball on that left-hand side, plays it back, Bellingham. And then Rodrigo out to Camavinga. Carvajal high up the pitch on this near side, the right, back towards Camavinga, midway through the Manchester City half. Kroos now likes to dictate in the midfield, goes square. Camavinga waits, threads it through. That was a very good turn by Bellingham. Thought he got a free kick, and he shows his dissatisfaction in the direction of the referee by throwing his right arm at Francois Le Texier. I think it's fair to say he's not being swayed by this home crowd, the Frenchman. Southampton lead Coventry by 1-0. What about England's women, Vicky Sparks?
They still lead 2-0 in Dublin, but they've missed a penalty. Alex Greenwood, who's already scored from the spot this evening, hitting the post. Elsewhere in this group, France have beaten Sweden. England still lead 2-0 in Dublin.
Valverde made a run through the midfield. Manchester City with the clearance. It took a little bit of a ricochet. That could have absolutely gone anywhere. It was a strong, positive run by Valverde. And Guardiola coming across as left-back. I think it struck the legs of Vinicius Junior. It could have literally gone anywhere.
Yeah, it does. Real Madrid's up the tempo slightly in, and they've got to, haven't they? That silly goal they've given away. Not taking anything away from Bernardo Silva. Great vision, great awareness, but Real Madrid's got to keep this high tempo.
Charlton lead Wigan by 1-0 in League One. Mansfield Town are 1-0 up against Forest Green in League Two. There was a chance tonight of Stockport getting promoted tonight if they were to win and Mansfield were to lose. They'd be virtually promoted if they were to win anyway. Stockport, Bernardo Silva into Haaland. Haaland with a snapshot left-footed. But comes back to Haaland, pulls it back to Grealish. Grealish with a shot blocked. Haaland might pick it up, and Real Madrid eventually get the ball away. But they were under real pressure there from Manchester City.
Well, it's an unbelievable game. This is a lot of nerves here. A lot of people doing a lot of mistakes. Referee saying playing on again. Real Madrid want a free kick on the halfway lane. It's not a free kick. Good refereeing so far.
Well, the Real Madrid bench down below has exploded because Vinicius Junior thought that he'd been fouled over the halfway line, and they all went towards the fourth official. So the referee is coming under a lot of pressure, but he is standing firm. He will not be swayed. Newport 1, Accrington 1. Wrexham lead Crawley Town by 1-0. Phil Parkinson's side second in League Two, and it's already been a busy start here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds, the only English radio station to bring you live commentary from inside the stadium here in the Bernabeu Stadium. And Manchester City, well, had it not been for Haaland had a chance there.
Good chance. He didn't. You know what he's going to do, Haaland. He's not really about set it up as if he can hit it first time, he will. And goalkeepers don't like that. So he got onto it very quickly. A good effort, but it's such an open game. I was expecting, a little bit more nerves, more possession. It's such a quick game.
7.5 minutes played. What's the start been like at the Emirates? John Southall.
Lively. Arsenal 0, Bayern Munich 0. Great noise inside the Emirates. First chance for Arsenal. Martinelli on the edge of the D, struck it well, but wide of the right-hand post. Arsenal 0, Bayern Munich 0.
The winner of that tie will take on the winners of this in the semi-finals. Arsenal or Bayern would be at home in the first leg. Back to Lunin. Grealish raced towards him, quickly released it out towards that far side, the left, and Mendy plays it back, and now infield by Rudiger. Lunin spreads it out towards Carvajal, but again City are working so hard off the ball. That was Foden quick to close down. Real Madrid struggling to get out there. Tchouameni threw himself at that flying header out of the back, but Manchester City are looking to try and press at every opportunity.
Started well, City, you've got to say. They're all doing their jobs. They're working off the ball, trying to get it back. They're playing quite high as well. I thought they'd play a little bit deeper with the pace of the front two of Real Madrid, but they're squeezing the play.
Top scorers in the Champions League, Manchester City, and their 25th goal of this campaign gives them an early lead here in the Bernabeu Stadium. Stones to Akanji, Rodri Kovacic on the stretch, collects it, plays it out wide to the left-hand side. Waddle to Grealish, just short of the halfway line. Grealish now back to Ruben Dias. Forward ball, Rodri. Stones comes forward to link up and step into that midfield. Right of the centre circle. Rodri's continued his run. They're advancing down the pitch now, Manchester City, with Kovacic, a former Real Madrid player, of course. Grealish rolls the ball forward. Left-hand side, just in from the touchline, level with the area. Manchester City lead by a goal to nil, 9 minutes played. Arsenal 0, Bayern 0. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and we're also live on Radio Manchester. And Manchester City are seeing a lot of the ball.
It's a surprise of Real Madrid. They're standing off. They really are letting City grow in confidence here. They're stroking the ball around very, very well. They've always got one or two options.
Wrexham 2, Crawley 0, latest score in League 2. Blackpool lead Fleetwood by a goal to nil at Bloomfield Road. As the ball played forward by Guardiola in the central area, into the centre circle he goes, the Croatian international. Kovacic, his fellow countryman, is to his left-hand side, and here is Kovacic, who comes forward. Foden gives it back to Kovacic. Now he goes square. Stones passes the ball out wide. Bernardo Silva, right-hand side. Every outfield player in the Real Madrid half. Akanji joins the attack. Inside, little turn there by Foden. Went to ground, dispossessed. Vinicius Junior can bring it clear for Real Madrid. The return ball to him, but there is Stones just to run back, takes it away off his toes and guides it back to Stefan Ortega.
They kind of settle Real Madrid. I give City credit. They're taking the sting out of the game, the pace out of the game when they need to. They're controlling the football. Manchester City, they're all getting a hold of it, playing 1 and 2 touch football. Real Madrid can't get near them. When they get it, they're a little bit too excited with this crowd. They need to slow down Real Madrid in possession.
200th Champions League match as a manager for Carlo Ancelotti, the first to reach such a landmark, and it hasn't been the best of starts for the 64-year-old Italian. His first was back in 1997 for Parma at Sparta Prague. But Carlo Ancelotti and Pep Guardiola, two elite managers, the two most successful managers when it comes to the amount of victories in the Champions League. Carlo Ancelotti, who's won it 4 times, Pep Guardiola hoping to join him on that figure. This is the third successive season that these two teams have met in the knockout stages of the Champions League, and in the previous 2, the winners have gone on to lift the trophy. City lead, Valverde, crossfield ball, out towards the far side. Brought under control by Rodrigo. Mendy not required on the overlap. Rodrigo inside, laid off by Valverde. Kroos 30 yards out from goal. Out towards Mendy, far side the left. Real Madrid looking for an equaliser. Little touch, back towards Kroos. Kroos now will play it out to this near side, and it's Camavinga, the French international, strokes it back towards Kroos. Manchester City have got everybody back behind the ball. Carvajal is high up the pitch on this near side, the right. Back now towards Camavinga. Steps forward, looks for a shooting opportunity. Camavinga does shoot, takes the deflection, and Real Madrid are level. The deflection was absolutely crucial, gave Ortega no chance. Camavinga races away to celebrate. 12 minutes played, Real Madrid won, Manchester City won.
Well, it's the first time they've strung 5 or 6, well, probably 10, 12 passes together, Real Madrid. Man City dropped off them and let them pass it around a little bit too easy, and you got a feel for the goalkeeper, and was it Diaz that came off? I'm not sure it came off. The shot I think the keeper would have covered. He's come inside, hasn't it? He's hit it, and it is Diaz. Goalkeeper absolutely no chance. We're back in the game.
It's his first goal in just over 2 years. He'll definitely be claiming that one. His first goal in 108 appearances. 1-1 here, and there's been a goal now at Arsenal. John Southall.
Arsenal have the lead. Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 0. Bukayo Saka on the right of the penalty area, curled it into the bottom left-hand corner. Matt Upson.
Yeah, fascinating match-up between Saka and Alphonso Davies, but Saka just getting inside. Ben White rolled it in. It was absolutely perfect for him on his left foot. Used Eric Dyer as a marker, bent it into that far post corner. Brilliant finish from Saka.
Saka's 18th of the season. How important could that be? Arsenal 1, Bayern 0.
You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live, and wherever you look, with the exception of the Manchester City supporters, a section of them are on our level 8. There is another section above them, higher up in the gods, in this expansive stadium that holds around 81,000, where they're waving the white scarves as Phil Foden now towards Grealish, and Grealish enters the penalty area. Grealish with the cross with the outside of the right boot, and that was claimed by Lunin, the goalkeeper.
Great play by City again. They've upped the tempo, and it's a cracking game this year. They go again.
They're away. Real Madrid And it's with Rodrigo on that far side, the left. Rodrigo enters the penalty area. It's going goalwards, and it rolls over the goal line. And Real Madrid, with 2 goals in 2 minutes, have turned it around. Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 1. City caught on the counter-attack.
Well, what we talked about here before the game, the pace of the attackers, and Akanji holding on his lane, 2 yards up the other halfway lane. The ball just gets played into the space, and away he goes, Rodrigo, and away he goes. You're not going to catch him. He does well to get back at him, I've got to say, and he did have a little bit of good fortune. He's trying to pass it the corner. The deflection slows it down. You've got to drop off. When you see him running like that, you've got to drop off him. And he's had a bit of good fortune. It's a slight deflection again. Goalkeeper absolutely no chance. Trickles over the lane. 2-1 Real Madrid.
He was onside as well. He was actually inside his own half when Vinicius Jr. released him. And Rodrigo, Manchester City supporters will remember from 2 seasons ago those 2 late goals that he scored in injury time in that semi-final to really swing it in Real Madrid's favour. And again, in a matter of moments, it swung in favour of the 14 times winners of the European Cup.
Yeah, for me, Kanji's got to drop off there. As soon as you see that much space, here they go again.
Here is Foden to Haaland. What a game this is. Bernardo Silva now. Bernardo Silva, Haaland there is with him. Right side of the penalty area. Bernardo Silva wriggles away, stays on his feet when they had a little nibble with the cross. And then there is a ricochet, and it's gathered by the goalkeeper, Lunin. That would have been interesting had he gone down.
It would have been. Tony Cruz have a go. Little foot dangling there, didn't he? It would have been interesting, but it's a fascinating game, this.
Well, we did a little hit earlier on for the BBC Radio 5 Live social media team, and you said this could be an absolute classic.
And it is. The tempo's brilliant.
Stevenage 0, Barnsley 1, and latest score from Broadhall Way. Back to the ball stays in play on this near side with Bellingham. Valverde running forward. We'll go back to North London in a moment, where Arsenal lead Bayern Munich by 1-0. But Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 1. This is a Real Madrid side undefeated in 35 games in all competitions since they lost to Atletico back in September. They've only lost twice all season in 42 games, both of them to their neighbours from across the city. Let's go to North London, John Southall.
Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 0, should be 2. Ben White through on goal. His shot straight at Neuer, should have scored. Arsenal 1, Bayern 0.
It's been officially classed as a Ruben Dias own goal, the first goal. So
I thought his shot was on target.
I did. Camavinga looking for his first since March 2022 against Sociedad will have to wait a little bit longer. Manchester City then try and play out from the back. John Stones plays it back towards Ortega. He clears long. Half-time now in the Women's Euro qualifier. Republic of Ireland, England, Vicky Sparks.
England lead 2-0 in Dublin. James's low finish after 12 minutes. Greenwood with the penalty on 18. She also hit the post from another penalty after the half hour. England lead by 2-0.
Real Madrid now with Mendy, gets it down off his chest, runs forward over the halfway line. The pass though goes astray. Goal at Colchester in League 2, Andy Stevenson.
Stockport lead through a complete fluke goal by Nick Powell from just inside the Colchester half. A long ball, probably not even a shot, has squirmed under goalkeeper Owen Goodman. Colchester 0, Stockport 1.
They won't be promoted tonight as it stands because Mansfield are leading Forest Green at Field Mill by 1-0, but Dave Challinor's side will be virtually promoted because their goal difference is so superior. But knowing Dave, the champagne will remain on ice. But Manchester City, who were leading but are now trailing, 18 minutes played. Kovacic in the midway point of the Real Madrid half. Gvardiol out towards Grealish. Kovacic has continued the run. Grealish looks to come on the inside. Grealish then passes the ball to Ruben Dias. Rodri now takes over. Rodri, 35 yards out from goal, goes out wide towards Akanji. Akanji spots the run of John Stones into the penalty area. Stones keeps the ball in play with a cutback, saved by Lunin. Another goal at Arsenal, John Southall.
Bayern Munich have the equalising goal. Arsenal 1, Bayern 1. All of their own making, I'm afraid, at the back for Arsenal. Ended up with Serge Gnabry sliding in and equalising. Arsenal 1, Bayern 1.
What a busy night of live football, and it will continue the live action throughout the week on BBC Radio 5 Live. That key game in the Scottish Premiership tomorrow. Dundee Rangers will be live from Dens Park. Anfield on Thursday night. Valverde coming forward. Valverde with a shot, edge of the area, left-footed, straight at the goalkeeper, Ortega. 2-1 Real Madrid.
It's a great game, this. It's just so end-to-end. The tempo is magnificent, and again, shot from outside the box. Why not? We've seen deflections going in tonight, so I can't believe they give Diaz that goal.
No, Camavinga won't either. After that long wait, did look like it was on target. Mind you, we are at level 8 and a long way back from our Cabina Ocho in the Bernabeu Stadium, as the number 8 for Manchester City, Kovacic, who had 109 appearances and 3 goals in his 4 years at Real Madrid. Manchester City still seeing a lot of the ball, but have just got to be wary of the counter-attack, because 2 goals in 2 minutes and Real Madrid are in front. Ruben Diaz to Akanji. Akanji waits. Ruben Diaz right of the centre circle. Waddle back with the Portuguese international. Bit of pressure on Akanji. Ruben Diaz is forced to retreat. Now has the ball just on the outside of his own penalty area, and he hesitates a little bit and eventually will play the ball along the ground, but Rudiger just steps forward, so it couldn't reach Haaland, who doesn't look too pleased.
I don't know why he didn't play it over the top. Haaland on the halfway lane, you'd fancy him on the sprint with Rudiger. I know he's quick, but so is Haaland.
Tchouaméni, a midfielder playing alongside Rudiger instead of Nacho at the heart of the Real Madrid defence. Lunin floats it forward. Valverde with a glancing header will try and pursue it himself. Stones will keep the ball in play, sees it back to Ortega. Even when they fell behind, the Real Madrid supporters were enthusiastic and supportive as ever, as we're approaching the midway point of the first half here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Kovacic picks it up and comes forward. You might hear the strains of the travelling support high up in the gods away towards our right-hand side. They're being whistled and drowned out by the Real Madrid fans as Phil Foden, now with Stones, central area, forward of the centre circle. Stones, along out towards Grealish. No other goals elsewhere to tell you about as Grealish comes forward on this near side, the left, back towards Guardiola, onto his right foot, checks back onto his left corner of the penalty area, short little ball inside to Kovacic. Guardiola gives it back. Real Madrid have everybody back behind the ball for what has already been such an absorbing game. 21 minutes in and we've had 3 goals. Akanji far side the right, out towards Bernardo Silva, holds the touchline. Foden plays it out towards Akanji. He's midway through the Real Madrid half. Now they go square. Rodri floats it out towards Grealish. Grealish controls it right-footed, plays it infield. Guardiola waits, forward ball, triangular passing. Kovacic was forced to slide into the challenge from that return ball by Stones. Real Madrid now will bring it away, and they're breaking with Rodrigo. Vinicius is up with him in support. Rodrigo on this near side, the right, level with the area, back towards Vinicius, and then closed down and off the shins of Rodri. It will go out of play for a throw. Chris Waddle.
It's a problem, isn't it, for City? They get great possession, City. They get right up to the last third of the pitch, and then if they lose it, all that space with the pace Real Madrid have got to hit them on the counter-attack, and they've punished them twice, we know that, but City's got to be aware of that.
Leyton Orient leading Exeter City by a goal to nil. Busy night of action in the Championship, League 1 and League 2. Rodri loses the ball in the centre circle. Bellingham with the back heel to Kroos. Out towards Vinicius, far side the left. Akanji, helped out by Bernardo Silva, who quickly gets into the challenge and wins the ball. Bernardo Silva, and now midway through his own half, will slow it down and actually comes to a standstill. Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 1, midway through the first half, and it has certainly lived up to every expectation so far, Chris.
It's been great, I've got to say. It's the level of football and the pace of the game, and now it's obviously the last 5-10 minutes of the game, it has slowed down a lot, and but they put so much into it the first 20 minutes.
Here is Phil Foden, ball in field, Rodri, Stones in the centre circle of the Real Madrid half. Guardiola comes forward, quickly out towards Grealish on this near side the left. Carvajal back pedals. Grealish then crosses to the edge of the area, won't reach Rodri. Kroos was there to intercept, and now Kroos will link up with Rodrigo, level with his own penalty area, forced to turn. Guardiola goes after him, and it will be a Manchester City throw, much to the dismay of Rodrigo, and Manchester City with a throw on this near side the left, playing from right to left as we look, level with the penalty area. Southampton have got a second goal against Coventry. Not only will that consolidate Southampton's position in the playoff spots, it's also good news for Norwich, who are 2-0 up at Sheffield Wednesday, because that could mean that they go 7 points clear of Coventry, who were their nearest pursuers in 7th when the games took underway earlier on today. So Southampton 2, Coventry 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Coventry 2, are latest scores in the Championship. The whistles and the hoots of derision are because Manchester City are in possession. And now it's with Rodri in the centre circle, forward ball, finds Kovacic on the half turn, loses the ball though, and Real Madrid with Camavinga. Ball from Carvajal, gives it away. Manchester City have it back.
They've got the possession. You know, the problem is that they've got Bernardo Silva on the right and they've got Jack Grealish on the left, who give us a good balance, and technically they're very gifted players, but they don't go past anybody. And the amount of times Jack Grealish has had one-on-one going into the 18-yard box, I mean, that's, for a winger, that is just like, wow, you never get a better place in the game.
Ball lifted forward by Kovacic, gathered in by Lunin.
And they just check out and go back and square. I think, I know it's early, but I wouldn't be surprised if Doku comes on within the hour.
Well, when Chris Waddle's talking about go and beat your man, he's talking from experience, because on many occasions he would beat a man not once, not twice, but sometimes even 3 times. Scotland women 0, Slovakia women 0 is a half-time score in those Euro qualifiers as well. Earlier there were wins for Wales and Northern Ireland against Kosovo and Bosnia respectively. England are leading at half-time against the Republic of Ireland. 5 Live and BBC Sounds, also live on Radio Manchester. 25 minutes played. It started so well for Manchester City, who remember unbeaten in 25 games in all competitions. They've won 24 and drawn 4 since that defeat in early December against Aston Villa. But Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 1 is the latest score here. And Camavinga able to turn midway through the Manchester City half, and Vinicius got it out from his feet very, very quickly. Must have been, 25 yards out, but it was a right-footed effort that was always on the rise. Goal kick, 2-1 Real.
Rodrigo and Mr. Stewart, they're very unpredictable, aren't you? You don't know what you're going to get from them. I mean, it must be, for the manager, it must be a nightmare. Some weeks they must be unplayable, and then some weeks you feel like, come and sit next to me. It's you just haven't a clue what you're going to get from them.
Pep Guardiola was saying last night that they're going to miss Kyle Walker because he was the one to control Vinicius. Akanji's playing right back, but actually Rodrigo is primarily the one who's playing out wide on that left-hand side. Vinicius is going through the middle. Valverde's trying to get forward on this near side, the right, and then Bellingham is floating.
He's like he's playing off the strike. He's playing behind Vinicius Junior, and he's sort of got that free role. He's playing as a number 10, definitely.
Manchester City then with a throw. Gvardiol, the bearded Croatian defender, down towards Haaland. Last touch came off Haaland. It'll be a throw in front of the debonair Pep Guardiola. Cheltenham 0, Carlisle United 1 is a latest score in League One. Real Madrid with a throw. 27 minutes played. It's always a great atmosphere here, but brilliant. I think that the fact that the roof is closed, it is just amplifying it a little bit more, isn't it? Real Madrid in possession. Valverde lays it off. Carvajal steps forward. Referee's played the advantage. Bellingham switches the play out towards the left-hand side. Slowed down a fraction by Mendy, the left-back, as he picked it up on the halfway line. Now back towards Bellingham once again, midway through the City half. Out towards Vinicius, far side the left. Back towards Bellingham. Lets it come across his body onto his right boot. Now it's with Tchouaméni. He goes square. Camavinga passing the ball very, very quickly, Real Madrid. Valverde coming in off the right touchline. Midway through the Manchester City half. Preston 0, Huddersfield 1, Doncaster 1, Walsall 0. Latest scores in the Football League as Kroos to Mendy. Holds off the attentions of Akanji. Back towards Kroos once again. And Kroos just plays the ball across. Tchouaméni just outside the centre circle of his own half. Carvajal with a little flick inside. Goes astray. Kovacic picks it up. Carvajal tries to win it back. Referee gives a free kick to Manchester City in the centre circle. Let's get news. In fact, we'll just wait for a moment because Manchester City are attacking. It's with Rodri. With Stones in the centre circle, back with Gvardiol, and Manchester City play it back towards Stones. So news of that goal at Deepdale from Sani Rudravajula.
Yeah, and it's gone to the away side, battling to stay in the division. Preston 0, Huddersfield 1. Josh Caroma after Huddersfield peppered the Preston goal. Preston 0, Huddersfield 1.
Very, very tight down at the bottom. Millwall and Plymouth, who are both playing tonight, are only 2 points off safety. So actually with that scoreline at the minute, Huddersfield would go above both of those. And Sheffield Wednesday will remain in trouble as they're losing 2-0 at home to Norwich City. We're approaching the half hour here. It's the Champions League. BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Sounds live on Radio Manchester. Arsenal 1, Bayern 1.
That's late.
As there was a late challenge and the referee gives a free kick. It was on Bellingham. Phil Foden gives him a little rub on the top of the head for his England teammate, as it was Foden who just caught him.
Yeah, I don't know, he caught him. He just brushed his shin pad, if anything, if he's wearing them. But yeah, there was not a lot in the referee. I've got to say, the referee, very good.
Très bien.
Yeah.
For Francois Le Texier. Not that I'm going to get into speaking with French with you from your time at Marseille. Colchester 1, Stockport County 1. So Colchester United have pegged the leaders back down in Essex, remember. Wrexham and Mansfield are ahead. Penalty now at Arsenal, John Southall.
And it's a penalty for Bayern Munich, and we all know what that means. It means Harry Kane time. Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 1. Leroy Sané did brilliantly, ran from the halfway line, zigzagged his way into the penalty area, and Saliba eventually just caught him, and down he went. And the penalty for the Bayern Munich number 9, Harry Kane, 38 goals to his name this season, just waits. You can hear the boos around the Emirates Stadium, because here comes Harry Kane. The referee clears everybody onto the edge of the penalty area. Remember, Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 1. The former Tottenham player, Kane, is made to wait. He's waited a long time to take this. Here he comes, steps up and just rolls it into the bottom right-hand corner. And the silence around you will tell you that Bayern Munich lead by 2-1.
So Bayern Munich have come from behind. Real Madrid have come from behind. And Harry Kane, who had I think he's the top scorer, isn't he, in North London derby history, has got another one. Loves scoring against Arsenal. And Bayern Munich are ahead in North London. Now it's with Ruben Dias inside the centre circle. While you're away, Rodrigo had a shot that was straight at Ortega, didn't really test the Manchester City goalkeeper. As Stones is forward, every outfield player is in the Real Madrid half, as the ball now is passed out towards Bernardo Silva. And Silva waits. Stones has made the run forward. Akanji joins the attack. The whistles will tell you that Manchester City are in possession. Now it's with Guardiola. Tucked in field, comes under pressure, plays the ball back to Ruben Dias, and he has to go all the way back to Ortega, as we'll get news of that Colchester equaliser from Andy Stevenson.
Yes, Colchester draw level. It's a smart finish from midfielder Cameron McGeehan at the back post from a corner. It means the home side edge out of the relegation zone for now. We're into 6 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Colchester 1, Stockport 1.
Half-time at Deepdale, Preston 0, Huddersfield 1. Manchester City now out towards Grealish, left-hand side, just in from the touchline, level with the area, looking to attack Carvajal, who backpedals, plays the ball towards Rodri. Rodri turns, ball through, little layoff towards Grealish, well worked by Manchester City, shot blocked by Grealish. Kovacic tries to win it back, but that was good work by Rodrigo on the edge of his own penalty area. Now links up with Vinicius, and Rodrigo runs away into space over on that far side, and he's over the halfway line. He looks for a forward ball, and he finds Vinicius, and Vinicius is inside the penalty area, pulls it back for Rodrigo, and he pulls it wide. The two of them, the way that they interchange, caused City all sorts of problems. That could so easily have been a third goal.
What a quick attack. I mean, what did you say? 1 minute Man City's in the box via Real Madrid. Jack Grealish has a shot which is blocked, and then within 30 seconds they're down the other end. Rodrigo, he actually hits it with the outside of his foot. It's always going away from the goal. Great counter attack.
They were like a tag team, weren't they? The way that they just kept on playing it towards each other, and they advanced almost from their edge of their own penalty area all the way to the other end as Haaland tries to roll away from Rudiger. Rudiger recovers very, very well, shows his strength and manages to get the ball away. As Manchester City, you can't take your eyes off the game for a moment.
If you look at the two teams here, they've got two unpredictable players, haven't they? You've got to say Real Madrid, Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior. Where you look at Man City and they haven't got that. They're all, Grealish gets it, runs it 10 yards, rolls it square, runs it back. Bernardo Silva runs the 20 yards, check back, square. Right there, look, Jack Grealish now, look, he's going to go inside it to Rodri.
Here is Grealish running infield midway through the Real Madrid half. Rodri tries to hold off the challenge of Vinicius. Thought it might have been impeded there. The referee said not. Ball is brought away now by Camavinga. Plays the ball forward to Vinicius, who's continued his run and required Stones to go forward, and Stones was fouled. And the referee will give the free kick to Manchester City.
It was a foul. Vinicius Junior didn't need to tackle. He's going nowhere, absolutely nowhere. He's kicking the ball out of anything, John Stones. Didn't need to tackle him.
Half-time in the Championship, Southampton 2, Coventry 0. Half-time also at Home Park, John Akers.
Nervy encounter at the bottom of the Championship. Plymouth 0, QPR 0. Not many chances, but Paul Smith had the best one for QPR. Plymouth 0, QPR 0.
Interesting here inside the stadium that a lot of the stewards with their luminous jackets have all filed forward and have now taken up positions primarily in the end away towards our right, and have lined up in front of this main stand as well. Of course, Spanish police and the authorities have been on high alert after the alleged terrorist threat targeting Champions League matches this week, and all of a sudden there is a visible steward presence with their luminous jackets as we are about 10 minutes away from half-time here in the Bernabeu Stadium, where Real Madrid lead Manchester City by 2-1. Rudiger clears the ball away, preventing it from reaching Haaland. Loose ball though, picked up by Bernardo Silva, less than 25 yards out from goal, cuts inside, left-footed, waits, plays it back towards Kovacic. Kovacic will play the ball all the way back to the centre circle for Ruben Dias. Trotting back still in the City half is Vinicius Junior. Gvardiol now out towards Grealish on this near side, the left. Gvardiol on the halfway line. Ruben Dias inside the centre circle. Goes to his right. Akanji over the halfway line. Back towards Dias. Bellingham left one late there on Ruben Dias with a little bit of a push after the ball had gone. Bellingham actually is one of those other players on a yellow card. He's got to be careful.
Yes, he has pushed him as well. The referee's got it right. He's lucky not to get a yellow. Modern day football, but he's got to watch himself.
Let's get half-time. Millwall, Leicester, Aaron Paul.
Millwall 0, Leicester 0. This one been action-packed, just not in the final third. Jamie Vardy and Jake Cooper have had the best of the chances at either end. Leicester 2 clear at the top as it stands half-time. Millwall 0, Leicester 0.
John Stones is the player forward for Manchester City. Foden gets a little touch. Akanji plays it back to Ruben Dias inside the centre circle of the City half. Forward ball to Rodri. Coming deep is Haaland. Lays it behind him. Now for Bernardo Silva to join the attack. Bernardo Silva strides forward. Waits, tries to roll away from his man. Bellingham though breaks up an attack and gets it to Vinicius Junior, who over the halfway line tries to roll away from Akanji. The referee has gone for his pocket and Akanji has shown a yellow card without any hesitation. The City defender is booked. 2-1 to Real Madrid.
Yeah, I mean, City in possession, play, keep the ball, I understand that, but there's nobody who can go past him. There's nobody changes the pace with the ball. It's got to be feet. And when Real Madrid smother them eventually, and they hit them on the break, that's what happens. They give City free kicks away, and eventually you're going to get a yellow card.
Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 1 here in Madrid. Kroos spreads play out towards this near side, the right. Carvajal tries to take it first time past Gvardiol, but Gvardiol is too smart for that. And back to Ortega, who clears. Half-time at Hillsborough, Chris Coles.
Sheffield Wednesday 0, Norwich 2. Very comfortable for the playoff contenders. Sargent's back post tap-in. Signs neat finish after a Wednesday error. The home side offering next to nothing and booed off at the break. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Norwich 2.
Dundee Rangers tomorrow live on 5 Live Sport. Liverpool Atalanta live on Thursday. And of course, as we heard from Ian Carter in the build-up to this game with Kelly, the US Masters coverage on Thursday night from 8 p.m. till 1 a.m. is on 5 Sports Extra. But on Saturday and Sunday, the 2 final rounds from Augusta, it will be live on 5 Live. Ortega out from the back. Ruben Dias, just a little slip, but there was no one around him to take advantage of that. Then Kovacic will give it back to Dias. Camavinga goes to press into the City penalty area where Rodri is available. Spreads it into the air, out towards Akanji. Almost caught in possession by Rodrigo. Rodrigo then goes down. Akanji on a yellow card. Referee waves that one away. Rodrigo has stayed down. Hardly seemed to be any touch whatsoever from Akanji. Manchester City progress downfield. They're into the Real Madrid half. Still Rodrigo writhing around on that far side. The whistles now from the Real Madrid players. Her fans as Bernardo Silva comes forward. Out towards Foden, right corner of the area. Foden with a cross, drifts out of play for a goal kick. Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 1.
I know it's a head injury and he's supposed to stop the game, but I think the referee, who's had an excellent game in my eyes, is waving the physio on now. Well, I didn't see anything in that. I think it was a bit of play acting, and Phil Foden's found it hard to get into this game, I've got to say tonight. Puts a cross in which bypasses everybody and goes out for a goal kick.
Well,
there is but he's not. There's no intent in it. So, you know,
it's a knock to the face. It's not a blow, is it?
It's the way you play. You put your arms up to shield the ball, and he's just caught him slightly. There's no intent.
Half-time at Deepdale, Sandy Rudravagula.
Preston 0, Huddersfield 1, the relegation battlers leading. Josh Koroma in the right place, 3 minutes from the break after a flurry of chances on the North End goal. Half-time Preston 0, Huddersfield 1.
Stoppage in play here. It means we can get a half-time score in our featured game in League 2 at Colchester. Andy Stevenson.
It's 1 each at the break. Stockport took the lead through a bizarre goal. Colchester keeper Owen Goodman allowing Nick Powell's fairly tame shot to squirm under his body. Cameron McGeehan grabbed an equaliser for his 9th goal of the season. As things stand, Stockport not getting promoted tonight, but Colchester edging out of the relegation zone. Colchester 1, Stockport 1.
And Mansfield Town at half-time leading Forest Green by a goal to 0 will go above MK Dons into the automatic promotion spots in League 2, which will be Stockport, Wrexham and Mansfield as it stands. Let's get an update from Arsenal. John Southall.
5 minutes to half-time, Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 2, could have been 3. Sane through on goal, another lapse at the back from Arsenal, but there was Ben White tracking back with a crucial challenge. Arsenal 1, Bayern 2.
Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 1, play about to get underway. Rodrigo will have to wait 30 seconds before he can come back onto the field of play after getting treatment over on that far side. The goal kick is finally taken, and then Lunin hits it. The Ukrainian international goalkeeper right-footed, that is headed away by Ruben Dias, flicked on by the head of Rodri, hooked forward then by Kovacic towards Haaland, but it goes over his head and then passed towards the keeper once again.
They
Lunin
just need something different. They're all technically gifted players, Manchester City, and that's why where they are in the league and winning this competition last season. But they haven't got anybody different. There's nobody picks the ball up and does something different. De Bruyne, obviously, unfortunately, he's got sickness. The only player I can think of is Doku or Bob. They're the only two, and you need something different. At the minute, it's very easy to play against for Real Madrid.
Real Madrid, who have the advantage. Grealish on the halfway line, knocks it back to Rodri, played forward in the air. Kovacic couldn't get there, tries to snap into the challenge with Camavinga. Camavinga and Bellingham both went to ground. Referee, though, says again, play on. Trying to let the game flow at every opportunity, the French referee. And Akanji now turns away. Bernardo Silva is dispossessed by Kroos. Ball played forward to Vinicius, and once again Real Madrid are on the attack. It's Vinicius Junior. He enters the penalty area and he shoots right-footed straight at Ortega.
Again, sloppy play. Bernardo Silva leaves it just over the halfway line, and the break on you quick again with that pace. Vinicius Junior cuts inside. He's trying to place it by the far post. He's mishit it slightly, and it's straight at Ortega. Very easy save.
They've had 3 opportunities now, Real Madrid, since they scored 2 goals in 2 minutes to take the lead here. As Bernardo Silva, seems a long time ago now since with that quick thinking free kick gave Manchester City the lead. 3 minutes to go to half-time. 5 Live, BBC Sounds and Radio Manchester. Real Madrid lead. Kovacic. Square ball, Guardiola, central position, just outside the centre circle. Back to the halfway line he goes. Ruben Dias. Rodri now takes over. Not much movement though ahead of him for Rodri. Edges his way forward, goes out to the right-hand side. Bernardo Silva lays it back to Akanji. Now Ruben Dias makes himself available. Diagonal forward ball finds Rodri on the halfway line. Manchester City were being forced back there, just being squeezed by Real Madrid.
Yeah, and if you look around when they move the ball, there's at least nearly everybody, when they get the ball forward, there's one-on-one all over the place, and nobody is taking anybody on, and that's what opens doors. You know, you can pass, yes, you may get a perfect goal, but you need someone who's going to do something different, and Manchester City tonight haven't got that player on the park.
Haaland can't hold the ball up. Kroos, forward ball. Vinicius looking for Bellingham, but Bernardo Silva had to run back. When we said earlier on about Tchouaméni playing at the back, he's stepping forward and he's leaving Rudiger one-on-one with Haaland. But
yeah, he's just said basically, you pick him up. Unless he drifts around, obviously I'll have to pick him up with times. But the idea is yeah, Rudiger, you engage him and I'll sweep around it, I'll come around it.
Ball played back to Ortega by Ruben Diaz. Ortega hits it right-footed. Distribution finds Bernardo Silva. A little bit awkward to bring under control for Stones. Around knee height for his right foot, but eventually does so. Guardiola now joins the attack near side the left over the halfway line. Grealish midway through the Real Madrid half, just in from the left touchline. Guardiola now runs in field. It's a square ball that he will find Rodri. Thought Rodri was going to shoot, not once but twice. And then when he maybe thought for a third chance, he actually lost the ball. And now Rodrigo picks it up, but just shows a little bit too much towards Akanji. And it will be a Manchester City throw over on that far side, the right, and we're inside the last 60 seconds of this first half.
Listen, it's been an excellent game. I just think the difference between the two teams is a bit more pace Real Madrid's got on the break, but the players, you just don't know what they're going to do. Rodrigo and Vinicius, you just don't know what they're going to do, and it's paid off.
Here is Akanji. Find out how much added on time there will be. Remember, Arsenal are trailing at home to Bayern Munich by 2-1. We'll hear from John Southall and Matt Upson at half-time. As Rodri, forward ball, Kovacic, lost out to Valverde. Valverde just too strong for him in the challenge. Clearance from Lunin, the Real Madrid goalkeeper, went straight towards Akanji. Will that handball? No, the referee says not from Stones. Foden will benefit, comes forward. 3 minutes of added on time, which we're now into here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Grealish, head down. Carvajal is up against him. Goes on the inside. Chris Waddle was saying earlier, go on the outside. Grealish though waits, he passes the ball forward. This is Rodri, stands over the cross. Haaland waits, downward header, couldn't get a telling touch on it. And Real Madrid get the ball away. In fact, the referee has blown his whistle, free kick to Real Madrid.
Well, that's the first time this half I saw Jack Grealish actually beat the full-back and put a cross in. I know he didn't go the outside, he checked back, but he got himself some good space. Stood up a nice ball, and it's a handball at the far post by Stones.
So it'll be a free kick that has already been taken. So in stoppage time, incidentally, 5 Premier League commentaries for you this weekend, including Manchester City against Luton at 3 o'clock this coming weekend. Bournemouth Manchester United is also live on 5 Live, and on Sunday Liverpool Palace at 2, to be followed by Arsenal against Aston Villa for the next stage of that captivating title race in the Premier League. But here we are in the Champions League, and both the English sides are behind. As Valverde, 6 yards inside his own half, plays it back to Carvajal. His forward ball finds Vinicius Junior in space, Bellingham through the middle. Rodrigo waiting to make that run from that left-hand side, and his forward ball looking for the run of Bellingham is picked up by Ortega.
As I said earlier, it must be a nightmare to coach them too. Rodrigo and you just don't know what they're going to do. I don't think they know what they're going to do sometimes.
They have reached half-time in North London. Arsenal 1, Bayern 2. We'll get all the details from that first half when we hand back to Kelly. As Akanji. We're in the last 60 seconds now of this stoppage time. Stones on the inside. Rodri, edge of the area, forces the ball out wide. Bernardo Silva keeps the ball in play down by the byline on the right for Manchester City. Playing from right to left as we look. Akanji, forward ball, Stones level the area, back towards Akanji midway through the Real Madrid half. The whistles, they're baying for the half-time whistle now, the home support, as Diaz joins the attack. Foden can't find any space, has to pass the ball back to Ruben Diaz. Some of the scarves are being swirled around their head. Manchester City are keeping the ball. The locals don't like it, but they're not really testing this Real Madrid defence at this stage. They're holding firm, that wall of white. And now Mendy, the left back, will be able to bring it away, and he's done well and threads it through and finds Vinicius Junior, and there could be a break on again to Rodrigo. Rodrigo on the left-hand side, reaches the left corner of the area, slows it down, back to Vinicius Junior. Valverde's made the run into the penalty area. Here is Vinicius. Vinicius looked for the shot, and then Bernardo Silva, just at the right moment, takes it off his toes when maybe he was looking at to get the shot away, and Manchester City can try and work the ball forward, but that was to a flat-footed Haaland, and Rudiger steps forward out of defence, and Rudiger runs forward, and there is the half-time whistle. The 3 minutes are up. Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 1. Chris Waddle.
I've got to say, it's been a very entertaining first half, and City got off to the perfect start. Free kick, caught the goalie out. He will be not happy about himself, but brilliant by Bernardo Silva to spot it. And then since then, City, yes, look after the ball very well, but they need a little bit more, one-on-ones. Be brave, take them on. Don't worry to lose it in the final third. Real Madrid, we know what you're going to get, especially the front two. They're so unpredictable. But the tempo of the game's been brilliant.
Real Madrid have certainly had the better chances after that Bernardo Silva effort. Haaland with a near post saved by Lunin, and then 2 goals in 2 minutes. Camavinga off the deflection from Diaz, and Rodrigo to turn it around. Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 1 at half-time in the Bernabeu Stadium.
More reaction to come. Chris Waddle and Ian Dennis are there. We're also joined by Michael Brown, but let's head straight to the Emirates with Matthew Upson and John Southall.
We're at half-time. It's Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 2. It's been absorbing, it's been breathless. Arsenal took the lead after 12 minutes. Bukayo Saka on the right of the area on his left foot, curled it into the bottom left corner. How many times have we seen him do that? Ben White then should have made it 2, through on goal. His shot straight at Neuer, the equaliser. Have to say it was a right mess. Arsenal caught out on the counter at the back. Raya high up the pitch. Gabriel gave the ball away. Ended with Goretzka playing Gnabry to equalise, the former Arsenal trainee. The second, again, Leroy Sané allowed to run at Arsenal. Caught by Saliba. Harry Kane scored the penalty to the right-hand side. His 39th of the season, 7th in the Champions League, and he looked like he enjoyed it. Could have been 3 as well. Sané again on the counter-attack. There was Ben White, though, tracking back with the crucial tackle. Gabriel, header for Arsenal that also went wide. But Matt Upson, they've been so good defensively this season, Arsenal, and they've been caught out twice.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was the mistake really from David Raya, in my view. He came all the way out. Gabriel had the ball under control, and I think Gabriel wanted to roll the ball back into him. Because Raya had come so far out, tried to get involved with it, he didn't have that pass on, and then had an awkward left-footed pass, kind of chopped back 90 degrees into Kivior, and he just didn't quite make it accurate enough. The ball got turned over, and then Bayern were on the counter, but I have to say they've done that really well. It's gone into Harry Kane. The 2 wide players for Bayern have been a massive threat all night, and that is the problem that's going to catch Arsenal out.
And the penalty was the same, wasn't it? Sané just allowed to run.
Yeah, absolutely, very similar. Sané gets the ball. It was more individual brilliance, this one, wasn't it? He turns Kivior, he gets a little bit too tight on that far right hand side, and then he just drives into the box, and nobody can really deal with him. He's so quick, Sané, and Saliba just bumps him. It was a penalty, but brilliant play from Sané.
So, Kelly, it's been a terrific half of football to watch for the neutral, but I think Mikel Arteta will have a few words in the dressing room at half-time. So at half-time, it's Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 2.
Yeah, I think everybody needs a breather at half-time. Thank you for now to John Southall and Matthew Upson. Michael, there are real similarities between both of these quarter-final first legs, in that the English side has gone ahead, been pegged back to 2-1, and all 4 of the goals they've conceded over both ties were preventable.
Yeah, I think they were obviously the champions of Champions League that you're going up against. They've got that aura, they've got the success for so many years that you understand you're going to be up against it. I thought Arsenal will be quite comfortable, and as we spoke to Matt earlier about Bayern Munich's players still on the pitch, they can hurt you at any point. If you're not ready, you're conceded in key areas, penalties, those players just get into positions. And similar for Man City, the only thing I would say with City's perspective, good start. Yes, it was a goalkeeper's error. But then Real coming into it, the deflected goals certainly changed the game. So yes, they've deserved to get goals. Real, don't think City, yes, they've dominated possession, but Real have created opportunities. So yeah, you get taught a lesson. These players can finish. They get into the perfect positions, and both finding it quite tough.
We will have second half commentary from the Bernabeu, Real Madrid against Manchester City, with, of course, regular updates from Arsenal's game against Bayern Munich in their Champions League quarter-final first leg. England's women are also in action. They're playing against the Republic of Ireland women. Vicky Sparks.
And they still need 2-0 in Dublin midway through the second half, very close to a third as well. Moments ago, Fran Kirby seeing her shot saved at point-blank range by Courtney Brosnan. England looking to seal this victory and move to within 2 points of leaders France, who won 1-0 away in Sweden earlier today. Midway through the second half, it's Ireland 0, England 2.
And there are 6 games in the Championship this evening. It's half-time in the 8 o'clock kickoff between Leeds United and Sunderland. Lee Blakeman.
Leeds 0, Sunderland 0. Just 2 shots on target in the half, both for Sunderland. Jack Clark shot straight at Meslier twice. Should have done better with the first. Leeds with the better of the ball, but creating very little when they have it. Leeds 0, Sunderland 0 at half-time.
Thank you very much for that. Let's bring you up to date with what's happening elsewhere in the Championship, where there were 7:45 kickoffs. It's goalless between Millwall and Leicester, who are looking to extend their advantage at the top of the table. Plymouth 0, QPR 0. It's Preston 0, Huddersfield 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Norwich 2, Southampton 2, Coventry 0, and as we've heard, Leeds Sunderland goalless at half-time. In League 1, Blackpool 1, Fleetwood 0, Bristol Rovers 0, Reading 2, Charlton 1, Wigan 0, Cheltenham 0, Carlisle 1. Half-time between Leyton Orient and Exeter, Leyton Orient leading by a goal to 0, and Stevenage 1, Barnsley 1. League 2 scores coming up very shortly, but there's a penalty at Preston. Sani Rodravagula.
And Will Keane has just converted it for his 13th of the season. Preston level. It was Keane was brought down and he's converted. We're 5 minutes into the second half and it's Preston 1, Huddersfield 1.
Sani, thank you very much. In League 2 this evening, Colchester 1, Stockport 1. Stockport need to win that and hope that Mansfield lose their game against Forest Green, which they are currently leading by a goal to 0 if Stockport want to be promoted this evening. Elsewhere, it's Doncaster 1, Walsall 0, Harrogate 1, Grimsby 0, Morecambe 0, Crewe 0, Newport 1, Accrington 2, Wrexham 2, Crawley 0. The games that are going on this evening in Euro 2025 qualifying, we already heard that England's women are leading Republic of Ireland by 2 goals to 0. With nearly an hour gone, it's Scotland 0, Slovakia 0, and Netherlands 1, Norway 0. Right, we will be back with second half commentary of Real Madrid against Manchester City, with regular updates from the Emirates game between Arsenal and Bayern Munich, as both Premier League sides try to turn things around in the second half. That's coming up after the BBC News with Nick Hatfield.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Okay, Kelly, good evening. The Foreign Secretary Lord Cameron has confirmed the UK will not suspend arms exports to Israel following the killing of 7 aid workers in an airstrike last week. But Lord Cameron, who's in Washington for talks at the moment, says he still has grave concerns over the humanitarian situation in Gaza. The Post Office campaigner Alan Bates has told the inquiry into the Horizon IT scandal that the government needs to be held responsible for its part in the miscarriage of justice. The inquiry was read a letter he wrote to the former Postal Minister, Sir Ed Davey, asking him to do something back in 2010. Sir Ed, the current Lib Dem leader, says he was misled as well.
Alan Bates is a hero, but like him, when I put those concerns to Post Office executives, I was lied to, just like sub-postmasters were lied to.
The MP William Wragg has resigned from the Conservatives in Parliament after admitting giving the telephone numbers of colleagues to a suspected scammer he met on a dating app. Mr Wragg will sit as an independent. Police are questioning a 25-year-old man on suspicion of murder after a woman was fatally stabbed in Bradford. Kulsuma Akhtar, who was 27, died after being attacked on Saturday. And the parents of a teenager who shot dead 4 classmates at a school in the US state of Michigan have been jailed for at least 10 years. Jennifer and James Crumley were convicted of involuntary manslaughter. Their trial heard they gave their son Ethan a gun as a Christmas present and failed to deal with signs he was becoming violent.
We've an ongoing serious incident over.
On BBC iPlayer.
How's things in Belfast? Bit mad?
Yeah, a bit mad.
We're policing an area that could explode at any minute.
Don't go in, do not go in. Grace?
Stay back! I don't need anyone to protect me, all right? I never have.
The hit series returns.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy, I know it won't be. But you owe us.
Blue Lights.
You can't save this place. Watch me.
Starts Monday on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sport with Kelly Cates.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
It's a big night of Champions League action on 5 Live Sport. Real Madrid against Manchester City is our commentary match, with Real Madrid leading City by 2 goals to 1. And at the Emirates, Arsenal taking on Bayern Munich. It's Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 2. Harry Kane got a penalty to put Bayern Munich in front in that game. Second half commentary, as I say, coming up from the Bernabeu very shortly. And Thursday sees round 1 of the Masters get underway in Augusta. Tiger Woods is looking to make his 24th consecutive cut at this year's tournament, and he'll be hoping to repeat his miracle victory from 5 years ago.
If everything comes together, I think I can get one more. This tournament has meant so much to me in my life and my family. I think I've been playing here for 29 years now. It's been a part of my life. my first major as a pro. It's meant a lot to me, and I always want to keep playing in this. And that's the neat thing about this golf course, and it's the only major we play on the same site, the same venue, each and every year. And we get to tell stories and catch up with friends, and for me, get a chance to catch up with idols and the people that I've looked up to my entire life.
Coverage starts on Sports Extra from 8 p.m. on Thursday. And as part of the build-up to our Masters coverage, there is a brand new episode on the 5 Live Sport All About podcast feed, the John Rahm one, which includes Ian Carter's exclusive interview with the Masters champion. Busy night in the EFL as well, with 6 games taking place in the Championship. Let's check in with what's happening between Millwall and Leicester City with Aaron Paul.
53 minutes gone here, Kelly. Millwall 0, Leicester City 0. And this is a really interesting contest, flipping between both sides with limited action in front of goal, actually. It's just a really, really enthralling contest. Leicester have been squeezed, they've been limited at chances. Jamie Vardy with the best of them played through on goal, but it was a tame effort which was saved well by Matthias Sarkic. At the other end, both Ryan Longman and Jake Cooper have tested Mads Hermansen in the Leicester City goal. Atmosphere just cranking up a notch. Millwall 0, Leicester 0.
If Leeds can beat Sunderland, it's currently 0-0 at half-time, then they would go top if that scoreline stays the same at the Den. Let's head now to Plymouth against Queen's Park Rangers with John Akers.
It's tight, this one. Plymouth 0, QPR 0, approaching the hour, and QPR should really be ahead. Chairs had a brilliant chance, so has Smith one-on-one. Cooper made a good save, and Plymouth have had efforts too. Plymouth 0, QPR 0.
Sheffield Wednesday against Norwich City with Chris Coles.
Sheffield Wednesday 0, Norwich 2, an indication of how poor Wednesday were in that first half. A quadruple change at the break. 4 players hooked after a desperate 45 minutes. They have improved, but Norwich still have a measure of control and lead this game with 58 minutes played by 2-0.
And watching Preston against Huddersfield, Sani Rodravagula.
Well, we're on the hour now, and it's Preston 1, Huddersfield 1. It was Huddersfield, the relegation battlers, who took the lead in the first half, 3 minutes from half-time. Josh Carome with a strike, and they were deservedly ahead. But Will Keane, who's been lively in the second half, was brought down through on goal after 53 minutes and converted from the spot. Preston 1, Huddersfield 1.
And in League 2, there is a chance that Stockport County could be promoted tonight, but it's not necessarily going to plan. Andy Stevenson.
No, we are 9 minutes into the second half. Colchester 1, Stockport 1. People still talking about the Stockport Open, and Nick Powell's tame shot squirming under the Colchester keeper Owen Goodman. It was so bizarre that the visiting Stockport fans didn't realise the ball had gone in for several seconds. Cameron McGeehan, who has one Northern Ireland cap to his name, grabbed the equaliser just before the break. Colchester 1, Stockport 1.
They need to win there, and they need Mansfield to lose against Forest Green, but they're currently 1-0 up at the moment, with just coming up to an hour gone in that one. Let's check in on England's women. Vicky Sparks.
England was standing a little bit of pressure in Dublin against Ireland, but overall still dominant, still leading by 2-0 in this European Women's Championship qualifier. 15 minutes to play.
Manchester United have announced football director John Murtough will leave the club. He's been there for almost 11 years and Carlos Alcaraz has withdrawn from this week's Monte Carlo Masters with an injury to his right arm. Jack Draper of Britain has been knocked out in the first round. He lost a deciding set tiebreak to Poland's Hubert Hurkacz. Let's head back to the Emirates, where Arsenal have made changes at half-time. John Southall.
They have. The second half just underway. Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 2. Alexander Zinchenko has come on. Jakub Kiwior has gone off. Matt Upson, you surprised by that?
Yeah, it's hard to know whether it's because he wants a bit more in possession, which is what Zinchenko brings, or whether or not he just wasn't happy with Kiwior in that left-back position. Sane really got the better of him in that first half, but that side of the game isn't Zinchenko's speciality either, so you'd expect Sane to get the ball every time and just want to drive at him and try and expose that.
So that's the change at half time. So say we played a minute of this second half, and you suspect Arsenal will need to take something with them back to Bayern Munich, but at the moment they trail Bayern by 2-1.
Manchester City find themselves in the same situation. They trail Real Madrid by 2-1, having led 1-0 through Bernardo Silva's goal. It was a Diaz own goal, his Camavinga's shot cannoning in off Diaz, and then Rodrigo made it 2-1 to Real Madrid. 2 goals within the space of a couple of minutes to give them the advantage in this quarter-final first leg. The Manchester City players making their way out onto the pitch at the Bernabeu. Remember, they don't have Kevin De Bruyne to draw on for this game. He was on the bench but he's been vomiting ahead of it, and you suspect Pep Guardiola is not going to want to be using him. There's no Ederson. It's Ortega in goal instead for Manchester City as they're about to get the second half underway with your commentary team in Madrid, Chris Waddle and Ian Dennis.
Thank you, Lady Kelly. Yes, the Manchester City team have just taken to the field. Doesn't look like there have been any alterations from Pep Guardiola at half-time, as from the whistles that greeted the Manchester City players to the cheers of the Real Madrid team, who all in white come out now from the tunnel down below. So Manchester City with Ortega in goal, a back four of Akanji, Stones, Diaz and Gvardiol, Kovacic, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Foden, Grealish and Erling Haaland. Real Madrid not making any alterations either, 2-1 up. Andre Lunin in goal, back four of Carvajal, Rudiger, Tchouameni and Mendy. Valverde, Kroos, Camavinga, Rodrigo, Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. As the referee, Francois Letexier, in his bright orange referee shirt, hands the ball to Vinicius, and so Real Madrid will get this second half underway. A goal in the Championship, Millwall, Aaron Paul.
Millwall 1, Leicester 0. What a goal we've just seen from Ryan Longman. 35 yards out, cuts inside his left foot and bends it in the top corner. Huge goal. Millwall 1, Leicester 0.
So we are underway now here in the Bernabeu Stadium. BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Sounds 5 Live final score available on the iPlayer and also the red button, and we're also live on BBC Radio Manchester tonight, so thank you for your company. So neither team has made a change. Manchester City are playing from left to right as we look, and after what had been a dream start with Bernardo Silva's direct free kick after 2 minutes, Real Madrid with those 2 goals from Camavinga and Rodrigo, and have had chances to increase their lead. Manchester City now have there's got to be a degree of caution, because they're still in the tie, but to concede a second would be a concern.
Yes, it would. It would be a big. They've changed it round. They've put Bernardo Silva in midfield and brought Foden out to the right.
That's the voice of the former England international, Chris Waddle, a runner-up in the European Cup back in 1991, as Bernardo Silva with a quick free kick for Manchester City to Akanji. Rodri comes forward. So that chunk of 4 sectors in that bottom tier where the white and purple flags are flying on the front row, everybody, that block of white behind the goal for Stefan Ortega. Did get a glimpse of Kevin De Bruyne as he took his place on the bench alongside Doku. I wonder when Pep Guardiola will think about making a change. The return leg is at the Etihad next Wednesday. That was Rodri. The referee eventually blows his whistle as Camavinga had fouled Rodri and he stopped playing. Good job, the referee's whistle had gone.
I wasn't sure if the referee was actually watching. When he ran away with the ball, it was Rodri put his arms up, got the free kick.
Camavinga would have been away, but the referee did give the free kick. Here is Diaz, midway through his own half. Vinicius Jr. running towards him, back to the goalkeeper Ortega. Little touch outside the area, then pings the ball out towards that far side, the left, flicked on by Grealish. Haaland's made the run out towards that left-hand side, brings Grealish back into play on that left touch line. Sliding in though was Kroos. Grealish loses the ball, and then there was a trip by Haaland, and it'll be a free kick. It's a quick free kick that's been taken, floated forward towards Vinicius Jr., but it goes behind him and it will be tidied up by Stones, who actually doesn't pass the ball back to his goalkeeper. Instead it's a forward ball to Rodri. 3 minutes into the second half, 2-1 to Real Madrid. Chris Waddle.
Yeah, I think they go on attack. Kovacic,
he's found Bernardo Silva, edge of the D. Bernardo Silva holds on to the ball, plays it out left corner of the area. Grealish enters the box. Grealish with a shot, right-footed, off-target goal kick. Good play by Manchester City.
Yeah, Kovacic takes it forward, carries it right up to the 18-yard line, gives it left to Grealish. And this time he does decide to make something happen. He comes inside, tries to wrap his right foot round it, in with that top corner. Goes well wide.
Real Madrid, who are competing in the quarter-finals of the European Cup for a record 39th time. They've progressed on 32 occasions of the previous 38, and they certainly have a very good recent record. They've won 13 of their 15 Champions League quarter-finals at home, and they're leading once again by 2-1 as Rodri, who spoke last night here in the bowels of the stadium about needing to play with serenity and composure. And Manchester City with Guardiola to Kovacic, holds onto the ball, the former Real player, has Valverde snapping at his heels. He does well, Kovacic, but Valverde, for his tenacity, has a ripple of applause inside this vast stadium, and the forward ball finds Foden left-hand side of the area. Foden with the cross, headed away by Mendy, only as far as Grealish, left-hand side of the penalty area. Grealish out of the box he goes, tracked by Carvajal, infield, Kovacic to Rodri. Grealish now comes from a central area, 30 yards out from goal. Foul, direct free kick. 30 yards out, central area, free kick to Manchester City as they trail by 2-1.
He's had a good start in the second half, Jack Grealish. He's been more positive. He's carrying the ball. He's actually taking people on, trying to go past players. That's what you want to see.
Well, it was quick thinking from Bernardo Silva, but that was left of centre for him to hit that free kick in. This is in a very central area. With 30 yards out, Real Madrid have got every white shirt in and around their own penalty box. Haaland's in a central area. It was a direct free kick signalled by Francois Letexier, and Bernardo Silva is the solitary City player who stands over it. How many's that in the wall? There are 3 white shirts as we look down from a lofty position here in our commentary cabin towards the back of level 8 of this main stand. It will be Bernardo Silva, left-footed into that 3-man wall. No elevation. Mendy now can try and bring it away for Real Madrid. Mendy goes to ground. The referee will give that free kick. A goal at Colchester in League 2. Andy Stevenson.
Stockport lead again. Paddy Madden follows up his hat-trick on Saturday with another tonight, his 16th of the season. A simple finish after a quick breakaway from the visitors. Colchester 1, Stockport 2.
It will be virtual promotion because Mansfield won't be confirmed because of Mansfield still leading Forest Green at Field Mill. Bernardo Silva, meanwhile, runs forward for Manchester City in their dark shirts. Challenge was a good one by Rudiger. Quickly sprang back to his feet. Well timed. Loose ball now towards Bellingham to come forward. And Bellingham on this near side, the left, midway through the City half. Leaves it for Vinicius Junior. England international had continued his run. Vinicius Junior didn't find him. Instead, he went back for the vastly experienced Toni Kroos, the 34-year-old. 108 caps, a World Cup winner for Germany in his illustrious career, still dictating and looking to pull the strings in the midfield as the Real Madrid supporters whip up the atmosphere under the closed roof here in the Bernabeu Stadium. And now the ball chipped forward by Camavinga, but over the head of Rodrigo. Peters out for a goal kick, 2-1.
He didn't need to play it forward, did he? There was nothing really. I think they're trying to force it a little bit there, Real Madrid, but each team now, when they get the ball, the other team just drops off and thinks, well, you can have it at the minute, and it's who's going to be the bravest when they get in these one-on-one positions. Or
Wigan Athletic have equalised at the Valley in League 1. Charlton Athletic 1, Wigan Athletic 1. Manchester City's 10-game winning run in the Champions League is in danger of coming to an end. It's a run that actually started in the Champions League with the second leg success against Real Madrid last season. Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 2 is the scoreline from the Emirates. In the other Champions League tie tomorrow night, Atletico, Borussia Dortmund and Paris Saint-Germain against Barcelona, as the ball is given away by Ruben Dias inside the centre circle. Referee has played the advantage. Bellingham get back to his feet, now finds Rodrigo. Rodrigo running forward, tries to return the ball to Bellingham on the overlap left corner of the area. Akanji though can bring it clear for Manchester City. That was actually the thing about, talk of the alleged terrorist threat to target the Champions League games this week, as Manchester City lose the ball, and Ortega for a time wasn't back in position. Here is Bellingham. Bellingham with a shot, left-footed, pulls it across the face of goal, out for a goal kick, 2-1 Real Madrid.
Good bit of skill by Jude Bellingham there, didn't it? The ball comes back to him, he thought he'd lost it, does a nice little shuffle, gets it onto his right, back onto his left, and he drags it across the goal, and it goes well wide.
Because the Spanish police and authorities, not just on high alert for this game, but Atletico are actually playing Borussia Dortmund in Madrid tomorrow. So over the 2 days, 3,000 security individuals, personnel on duty for an expected 8,000 supporters from either Manchester City and Borussia Dortmund combined. from England and Germany to be in the Spanish capital for the 2 Champions League games tonight and tomorrow. Coventry City, incidentally, have got a goal back in the Championship, so Southampton 2, Coventry City 1 is the latest score. Manchester City are trailing, but they've been awarded a free kick here midway through the Real Madrid half, Chris.
Yeah, Rudiger getting too tight to Haaland. I've got to say, he's marked him very, very well again. Did it last year and he's done it again this year. He's not given him a kick and got a little bit too tight in, pulled him to the floor, and it's a free kick about, 40 yards out.
Rudiger, who has happy memories of playing against Manchester City, part of the Chelsea side in that Champions League success in Porto 3 years ago. Free kick then for Manchester City. Bernardo Silva runs over it, Grealish to take it, right foot in, and the header from Rodri, 6 yards out on that far side, couldn't keep it down, over the top, goal kick. City still trail. Let's get an update from Arsenal. John Southall.
58 minutes played, Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 2. Goretzka's just dragged a shot wide of the left-hand post. Harry Kane's got a yellow card, backing into Gabriel. Elbow in the face, Arsenal 1, Bayern 2.
Newport County 1, Accrington Stanley 3, Morecambe 0, Crewe 1. Our latest scores in League 2. Free kick to Real Madrid midway through their own half. 10 minutes into the second half. When do you anticipate that Pep Guardiola would make a change?
I'm going 60 minutes. I think he'll make 2 changes as well. I don't think he'll make 1.
Here is Kroos, Camavinga, Rudiger on the edge of his own penalty area. Goal at home park, John Akers.
QPR lead here, Plymouth 0, QPR 1. From a corner, it's Field bundled in. Plymouth 0, QPR 1.
Very, very tight down at the bottom. Huddersfield Town still drawing away at Preston. Sheffield Wednesday still trail at home to Norwich City by 2 goals to 0. Leyton Orient 2, Exeter 0 is the latest score. Real Madrid now are coming forward with Rodrigo. Forward ball early. Vinicius Junior hits it first time. Keeper had a swish of that. In the end, a goal kick has been signalled. His left-footed effort couldn't keep it down, rising over the crossbar.
He's got to do better. It's a great switch of play. Valverde, I think, switches it over to Rodrigo, and he rolls his partner in there, and he's lying back and he scoops it really. He doesn't strike it with his left foot, he lifts it and it goes high and wide, and that is a good chance. What a waste.
He's only 23 years of age. He joined on his 18th birthday. This is his 254th appearance, 77 goals and 72 assists.
Listen, at the end I can see, but he could have had 140 goals. He's just one of them players, you don't know what you're going to get from him.
I sense a degree of frustration.
I mean, Ancelotti must sit there some games and think, what are them two doing?
Carlo Ancelotti, who at the end of last year signed a new deal that'll take him through to 2026 for the former Chelsea and Everton manager, now in his second spell at the Bernabeu. On this landmark occasion for the 64-year-old Italian, his team are leading. But Manchester City with a turnover in play in the centre circle. Kovacic. Guardiola comes forward, central area midway through the Real Madrid half. Diagonal forward ball, Kovacic gives it back to Guardiola. Now Rodri, there's a square pass. Continued to be worked out to this right-hand side. Akanji to Rodri, he waits. John Stones joins the attack now, stepping into midfield. This is Kovacic, but by and large they're playing in front of those white shirts who have retreated to within 30 yards of their own goal. All of the white shirts for Real Madrid. Bernardo Silva down below, near side the right, playing from left to right as we look. We're approaching the hour mark on 5 Live. Diaz strokes it. There's the whistles from the home support. Bernardo Silva trying to prise open this Real Madrid defence. Over a year since they last lost in the Bernabeu Stadium. Bernardo Silva, unbeaten in 27 games. They've won 22 and drawn 5 since they lost a year ago to Villarreal. Foden being challenged from behind by Kroos. Camavinga gets the challenge. Foden not happy, has a word with the referee, but the referee lets the play flow. Manchester City still have the ball. Foden did ever so well to keep it with Manchester City. 58 minutes play. And then the ball from Rodri is behind a stumbling Bernardo Silva. It's out for a throw.
Yeah, I mean, City very composed and nice in possession, but you've got to have somebody when it goes to a certain player where you think something's going to happen. It's like, you know, me, you do it, no, he's going to do it, no, he's not, he's going to do it. And it's nice to watch on the eye keeping the ball. And I'm sorry, but you've got to have some people who take risks, and none of the City players do.
I hope the atmosphere is coming through back home, because that block of white behind the goal towards our left are jumping up and down in unison, and elsewhere around the many layers of this wedding cake of a stadium, the white scarves are being swirled around the heads as Foden comes forward, edge of the area. Foden with a shot, left-footed straight into the midriff of Lunin, the goalkeeper.
Well, that's better. He's run at the full-back, he's dropped his shoulder, he's come inside, he's been very positive, just outside the 18-yard box, straight at the keeper, but it's better, it's more positive.
They've had 2 efforts so far. Grealish wide, Foden with a shot straight at the goalkeeper. 31 minutes remain. 5 Live, Radio Manchester, also available on BBC Sounds. Bernardo Silva now collects the ball in the central area. Bernardo Silva goes with a shot. It was moving in the air. Lunin patted it down and then hooked away by Rodrigo. Haaland had made the run as a decoy into the inside left channel of the area, and Bernardo Silva decided against passing to the big Norwegian. As Bernardo's Grealish on that far side. Manchester City with Stones coming forward. Good spell this for Manchester City. Stones, though, is stopped in his tracks by Camavinga. Bernardo Silva again central. Akanji provides the width. Terrific noise inside the Bernabeu Stadium here on 5 Live. Rodri. They've not lost a European game since the 2022 semi-final second leg here. A 22-game run, an English record, previously beating the one set by West Ham only last October. But Manchester City are behind. But bearing in mind the formidable record at the Etihad, they're still very much in the tie.
Real Madrid are looking for that second win. They've dropped off, and it's all Manchester City. But as I said, they're just playing in front of Real Madrid.
Here is Foden, little touch inside towards Stones. Stones challenged by Vinicius Junior, helped on its way by Rodri. Guardiola now gives the ball away. Foden tries to win it back. Up it goes to Vinicius Junior. Foden running back at him. Vinicius Junior will go it alone for the time being. Akanji snapping at his heels. Vinicius Junior is away from both. Challenge came in, referee says that Akanji got the ball. Loose ball though picked up by Rodrigo. Level with the penalty area left hand side. Wrexham 3, Crawley Town 0 is the latest score in League 2. Rodrigo to Vinicius Junior. Kroos now takes over. Just slows it down with a degree of calm. Plays the ball back to Mandy, and Real Madrid keep the ball well. Out it goes to Rodrigo now, coming in off the left touch line. Akanji back pedals, left corner of the area. Vinicius Junior, he pulls it back. Valverde with a first time shot, and it's right footed, and it is well off target, and it goes out for a goal kick.
I just when Real Madrid go forward, they go forward with a purpose and a lot of pace, and they take people out and they make something, you think something's going to happen. Well, Man City at the minute, it's just, yes, they're looking after the ball well, but don't look like they're going to score.
Goal in the Championship at Hillsborough, Chris Coles.
There's been a goal for Sheffield Wednesday, a glimmer of hope. They now trail by 2-1. Michael Ehikwe heading in a Barry Bannon corner. 12 minutes to play. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Norwich 2.
And full time in the Women's Euro qualifier, Republic of Ireland, England, Vicky Sparks.
England have won 2-0 in Dublin. Goals in the first half from James, and Greenwood penalty. Greenwood hit the post with another spot kick. Strong finish from Ireland, but to no avail. England go second in the group. Ireland 0, England 2.
Could be a good night for the home nations. The last I saw, Scotland against Slovakia, which is a 7:35 kick-off. Scotland were leading by 1-0, and earlier wins for Wales in Kosovo and Northern Ireland in Bosnia. This is the Champions League, live on BBC Radio 5 Live. Bernardo Silva, right-hand side of the penalty area. Kroos running back, gets the challenge in, and Kroos deep inside his own half with Rudiger, and they play it up towards Bellingham. Gets a challenge from behind by Akanji. The little flick by Bellingham gives the ball away straight towards Akanji. Rodri feeds it forward to Kovacic, back towards Rodri, spreads play out towards Grealish inside the penalty area, left hand side. Grealish down towards the byline. Challenge comes in, corner kick. We'll quickly go to Arsenal. John Southall.
Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 2. Mikel Arteta's made a couple of changes. Trossard and Jesus are on. Arsenal looking for the equaliser. Arsenal 1, Munich 2.
It is still Scotland 1, Slovakia 0, incidentally. Corner kick then, Manchester City. Far side to left, playing from left to right as we look. 63 minutes played. Grealish rolls it to Kovacic, who gives it back towards Grealish, left-hand side of the area. Grealish waits, returns it to Kovacic, passes the ball. Now to Foden. Foden can't get the shot away, though, off his left foot. Challenge comes in from Vinicius Junior. Break is on for Real Madrid. But there was Haaland to curb that run and to run it out of play for a throw that Real Madrid take quickly.
Yeah, again, Man City caught in possession on the edge of the box and a break on, but give Haaland credit there, great pace to chase back and win it back.
Hasn't had a chance yet, hasn't Erling Haaland? A proper chance to add to his 82 goals in his 89 appearances. Joint leading goal scorer, of course, in the competition. As here is Ruben Dias. Stones has time to have a little quick glance over his right shoulder. Forward of the centre circle, steps forward, rolls it along the ground. Bernardo Silva midway through the Real Madrid half, few yards in from the right touchline. Akanji now waits, a stationary Akanji. Infield to Ruben Dias on the edge of the centre circle. Forward ball to Kovacic, only starting due to the illness of De Bruyne. Gets the ball towards Haaland, but on the stretch, unable to hold on to it. Camavinga now in the midfield. He's lost out towards Rodri. Manchester City win the ball back. Now with Stones outside the centre circle of the Real Madrid half. Foden on the turn. Camavinga can't stop him. Foden is coming away. Gets the early shot blocked by Tchouaméni. It rebounds out towards the far side. And Valverde now brings the ball clear. Valverde plays the ball forward, and that's overhit, and Ortega will take it back inside his penalty area.
Phil Foden there had Haaland on. First time he did the right thing, gone for the shot, comes back to him. If he gets his head up, he could square it to Haaland, who was in a better position, but City's dominating the ball, but not creating enough.
Doncaster Rovers 2, Walsall 0 is a latest score in League 2. 65 minutes played in the Champions League. The noise just doesn't seem to have stopped throughout the whole night here in the Bernabeu Stadium. As Grealish is forward, Gvardiol out towards Kovacic. A nice, steady, almost a walking pace from Manchester City at this stage. Wrexham 4, Crawley Town 0, so a convincing win it will be for Phil Parkinson's side to keep their automatic promotion hopes very much alive as the League 2 campaign draws to a close. Bernardo Silva, edge of the area, Stones, Foden with a shot! What a goal by Phil Foden! Absolutely superb! Off his left foot, finds the top left-hand corner, and Manchester City are back level. Moment of brilliance by Foden.
That was an absolute fantastic strike. They've been knocking on the door, haven't they, the last 10 minutes. They've had all the possession. They pushed Real Madrid back to their 18-yard line. Comes down the straight-hand side again with about a bit of joy. Gives it to Foden. One thing in his mind, out of his feet, inside the D. Let's go, top corner. You don't stop them. That is a rocket of a shot. What a finish that is. And they've been knocked on the door. Real Madrid, I think, have come off the pace.
22 goals for what has already been the best of his career, and when he scores, his record is extremely impressive, or City's record is impressive. 164, drawn 4, only lost twice when he finds the back of the net, and Manchester City are level in this terrific game of football. 2-2 into the Championship. Goal at Deepdale, Sani Rudavangela.
And Preston have turned it around. 5 minutes to go. It's Preston 2, Huddersfield 1. Middleton Osmajic off the bench. Preston very much in that playoff push. It's Preston 2, Huddersfield 1.
Goal at Plymouth, John Akers.
Plymouth are level as well. Plymouth 1, QPR 1. Their first goal in over 500 minutes here at Home Park. An own goal from Adoma from a corner. Plymouth 1, QPR 1.
The Manchester City fans high up away towards our right-hand side are celebrating. That was a very special goal from Phil Foden. What was it? One touch, got it out of his foot and hit it.
Comes from the right, just is in the D, one touch. Doesn't think anything else. He knew exactly what he was doing. And by the way, he struck it ever so well. Nobody saves that.
He turns 24 just days before the Champions League final is scheduled at Wembley. Here though is Kroos for Real Madrid. Kroos down into the ground, took a deflection, picked up by Ortega.
I think Real Madrid will be bringing Modric on soon.
We'll wait to see when the Modric will come on. His contract runs out at the end of the season. He's 38 years of age. There's Luka Modric still contributing very much to the cause. 34 appearances this season as Kroos tries to dink it out towards that far side. That was blocked, and then it's tidied up at the back by Tchouaméni as it goes all the way back to Lunin. Another goal at Hillsborough, Chris Coles.
Another goal for Sheffield Wednesday. What an impressive and potentially timely comeback from the home side. Michael Smith heading in from another corner. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Norwich 2.
Blue Moon is being chanted by the Manchester City's loyal support away towards our right. Charlton 2, Wigan 2 is the latest score at the Valley. This is 5 Live. We're midway through the second half. Arsenal are still behind. Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 2.
City are just controlling the game second half. And Real Madrid's had the odd counter-attack, haven't they? But the way they've kept possession. I know at times that you wish, people would take more and take a bit more risk, but they've just totally dominated this football in the second half, Man City.
The quality of the football, the atmosphere to match, 4 goals to boot, and still a quarter of the game remaining. Grealish on that left-hand side, held up by Valverde. Grealish comes on the inside, passes the ball towards Stones. Rodri now midway through the Real Madrid half. Is Foden now on the right. Mendy is watchful just in front of him. Akanji plays it forward. Manchester City are dominating at this stage with just over 20 minutes remaining. And remember, incidentally, they are unbeaten in 40 home games in all competitions. You'd have to say they'd be favourites if it was to stay like this.
Yes, definitely. Diaz and Modric are coming on.
Another goal at Preston, Sani.
Well, he's been on the pitch 12 minutes, but Militon Osmajic has got a second, the 7th of the season, and Preston look like they'll be winning this one. It's Preston 3, Huddersfield 1.
Arsenal still trail at home to Bayern Munich. Let's get an update, John Southall.
Yeah, that's right. Bayern still leading by those 2-1 at the moment. You have to say they look the more likely to score. Harry Kane with a deflected shot just from the edge of the area off Declan Rice. Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 2.
We know what we are, champions of Europe. Seeing the Manchester City support as Grealish, left-hand side, enters the penalty area, almost stumbles. Quite a low stance as the shot comes in. Oh, what a brilliant goal! Guardiola, his first for the club, and it's a spectacular effort, and Manchester City are back in front. What a time to open up your account. Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 3.
Well, again, what a finish. I mean, they've scored 3 goals from outside the box tonight. One was a free kick, we know, we caught the goalie out. Phil Foden's goal was great, and that was just as good. Grealish again runs the full-back, back pedals, rolls the ball back to his partner behind him, his full-back who's playing there tonight. What a finish. What a finish. You don't say them. They're just, he's out of his feet. It's not the best first touch, to be fair, but he wraps his right foot round it and hits the side netting. I mean, what is he? 22, 23 yards out. What a finish.
I was going to say the first touch went away from him. It's off his weaker foot, incidentally, his right foot. It was curling and it gave Lunin no chance. And Manchester City's winning run might well continue.
Yes, it's two fantastic goals. But they've dominated the ball second half, you've got to say. I mean, they've not really caused problems for Real Madrid, but they've had all the ball.
Guardiola with his first goal for the club. His last was a year ago for Leipzig against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Modric has come on, and I think it was Kroos who was the player to make way.
Yeah, and Rodrigo went off.
Rodrigo
for Diaz.
So Brahim Diaz, former Manchester City player, has come on when they signed him from Malaga's youth setup. Only made 15 appearances in 4 years as Camavinga runs forward to Vinicius Junior. Vinicius Junior will win a corner kick for Real Madrid. They've got to bring themselves off the canvas as now they are behind in this game that has swung one way and then the other.
It is. He's 2 good substitutions. Diaz very tricky, very clever. And we know Modric, what a great player he's been over the years, and still spots a pass.
Scotland's women have beaten Slovakia by 1-0. That is a full-time score, so all the home nations have won in the Euro qualifiers. Modric with a corner kick, in it comes. Ortega gets something on it, and it will run out of play over on that far side and behind for another corner with a little ricochet as it kisses the corner flag over on that far side. Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 3. And Modric waits to take the corner kick on that far side. Manchester City have everybody back inside their own penalty area. Modric, far side the right, out-swinging corner kick, headed out by Manchester City and then volleyed away, and it's no longer 2-1 at Arsenal. Another goal, John Southall.
Arsenal have the equaliser, lift off here. Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2. Jesus did ever so well, played it into the substitute Leandro Trossard, and he swept it in, Matt Upson.
Yeah, there hasn't been much space in this game at all. Bayern Munich really solid it through the midfield area, but Gabriel Jesus finds the space. Lovely little chop inside, feints to shoot with his right foot and just rolls the ball into Trossard's path. Lovely strike, simple finish into the corner, but Arsenal back in it.
This place is bouncing now. Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2.
We will bring you a choice of listening next Wednesday for the return legs from Manchester and also from Munich on 5 Live and 5 Sports Extra, as Manchester City leading by 3-2 thanks to Waddle, feeds it towards Grealish enters the penalty area. Manchester City looking to extend their winning run to 11, which would be approaching Bayern's record of 15, and Grealish does well to win a corner kick. Corner kick to Manchester City, far side the left, they lead 3-2.
Good play by Grealish, nothing on, just keeps the ball in. Modric gets a little toe poke off away from him, goes for a corner, and he's just slow it down now. Jack Grealish walking away at the corner flag.
And the corporate hospitality supporters, there's a chunk of a little smattering of sky blue and dark shirts in and amongst the white, predominantly white over on that far side, stand to applaud Jack Grealish as the referee just has a word. I think it's with John Stones inside the 6-yard area. Corner kick, Grealish in swinger, headed out by Carvajal, near side of the 6-yard box, and the ball is played back to Waddle. Grealish wants it on that left-hand side. Kovacic was also making the run. Waddle couldn't find them, and it was picked up instead by a stumbling Brahim Diaz, and he goes to ground. Another goal at Deepdale, Sane Rudimanjala.
Well, Preston were 1 down at half-time, now 4-1 over. Militon Osmajic has just swept home, come off the bench for a 15-minute hat-trick. Preston 4, Huddersfield 1.
How would you analyse this second half performance?
I think City's been very dominant, and the one thing I criticise them for is that sometimes they don't take risks, they don't go and commit defenders when they in my eyes when they could, but you can say what you want about this team, but they get results, and they're very hard to play against. They keep the ball ever so well.
Well, Real Madrid, who've won the first leg in each of their last 5 quarter-finals since losing 2-0 away to Wolfsburg 8 years ago, are facing defeat and are facing a tall order, the 14 times winners, because Manchester City, who were looking to get back-to-back Champions League successes since Real Madrid did it in 16 to 18, the only team to actually do it, to retain it since Milan back in the late 80s and 1990. That's how tall the order is. They'd also become the first team to win multiple away knockout matches against Real Madrid. So this will be some achievement, make no mistake, for a Manchester City side that is missing Kyle Walker, that can't call on the Kevin De Bruyne due to illness, hasn't got their first choice goalkeeper, but Manchester City are leading by 3-2 and have 13 minutes remaining. It would be some result, really would.
A fantastic result to come here and inform Real Madrid's been in this season. Everybody fancied Real Madrid tonight, and City have come here and been so professional, so drilled, organised, disciplined, everything you want to say.
Bellingham has hardly made much of an impact, has he?
Nothing on the game.
Crawley Town have got a goal back at Wrexham 4, Crawley Town 1. Ball goes forward. Bellingham had made the run, he goes to ground, the referee's not having any of that. He's officiated the game extremely well, Francois Letexier.
Excellent. This is the sort of referee you want, when people falling all over the place, like Bellingham did there. The referee just waved his arms and said no.
Not to be intimidated by this 81,000 crowd inside the Bernabeu Stadium. 12 minutes remaining, and Manchester City are 3-2 up. As Ortega with a goal kick. Carvajal, though, beats Kovacic in the air. Modric picks it up now and drives forward. The 38-year-old for Real Madrid. Out to Vinicius Junior. Vinicius Junior swings over the cross. Oh, what a finish! What a finish that was! Right-footed. Valverde on the volley. Hits it straight to the net. Right-footed, bottom left-hand corner. And this absorbing game produces another quality goal for what has been a quality contest. Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 3.
Well, the goals just get better and better, don't they? I mean, this is Look at Modric, who's come on as a substitute, a lot of energy, picks it up, works it to the left. Vinicius Junior just crosses it to the far post. Valverde comes in, nobody's marking him, and he struck it across his body, right foot, across the goal. Ortega absolutely no chance again. I've said it a few goals tonight, and that is another one. Hits the side netting. You don't save that one either, so what a game this has been.
What about the technique?
Brilliant. Just lets it cross his body, right foot, controls it as well. He doesn't try and lash it, he controls it. And the goalkeeper, as I say, has got absolutely no chance.
He hasn't really produced the amount of goals that he did last year. 12 goals he scored last season, that's only his second, but he's featured in every game as the Uruguayan international. And that really was a sweet strike, right-footed, found the bottom left-hand corner, and it's 3-3. We have been treated to a true spectacle here tonight. You said earlier on today, you said it could be a classic. It has been that and some, really has.
Oh, it's been brilliant. I mean, the level of ability on this field in there, so many players have showed it. They're in again.
Ball play forward, Bellingham is there, off his head, tries to stab it forward and it runs wide.
Tell you what, John Stones, just as well he's there. Bellingham had a simple tap in. What a great ball again. Modric, was it? Oh, and Stones just stops Bellingham from toe poking it into the goal from 6 yards.
What a deafening roar that was. They're up and out of their seats. The scarves are being swirled around their heads. We've got 10 minutes remaining. It's 3-3 in what has been an epic first leg encounter. And it's a corner kick to Real Madrid. Swings in their favour. In it comes from Modric. Over a cluster of bodies inside the penalty area. Carvajal tries to play it forward. Blocked. Foden might be able to run it away here for Manchester City. Had nobody ahead of him. Had to go back to Kovacic, who rides the challenge well. The referee lets the game flow. Now it's taken over by Grealish. Central area. Gets a nudge from behind. Referee says he got the ball. No. Keeps the free kick. Somebody's shown a sign of dissent there, and there's a yellow card being shown,
Captain
to Carvajal. Carvajal has been shown a yellow card for dissent as he goes away chuntering. 9 minutes remaining in a game that you do not want to finish.
No, I'm just seeing a replay of this. Jack Grealish stumbles over, and he's got booked for dissent. I didn't really think it was a foul, to be honest, but just seeing that goal again, Valverde's goal. What a finish that is.
Doncaster 2, Walsall 1. In amongst the din, I was told to go somewhere, and I don't know where we're going to go. It's John Akers, Plymouth.
Honours even at the bottom of the Championship. Plymouth 1, QPR 1. Sam Field for a corner put QPR ahead with 15 left, and then Albert Adoma, Argyle's first home goal in over 500 minutes, made it 1-1.
Free kick for Manchester City. Rodri finds Stones. Stones, the centre-back, into midfield he goes once more. Bernardo Silva, right corner of the area. Foden laid off to him. Bernardo Silva holds the whip near side the right. Back to Foden once again. Short ball. Rodri scoops it forward. Foden stays on side, near side. Tries to nick it through. Blocked by Camavinga. And then he fouls Camavinga, who falls forward. That'll be a free kick to Real Madrid. Full time at Hillsborough, Chris Coles.
Sheffield Wednesday 2, Norwich 2 could be a very important point for Wednesday. Rescued by Ihekwe and Smith headers from corners. Norwich had been cruising after first half goals from Sargent and Sainz until their set-piece frailties ruthlessly punished. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Norwich 2.
Mansfield have beaten Forest Green by a goal to nil in League 2. It means that Stockport can't be, their promotion won't be confirmed tonight, although they are virtually up Dave Challinor's side. Here is Mendy on the halfway line. Modric now takes over, 10 yards inside his own half. 7 minutes remain. There'll be quite a bit of added on time, I would have thought, with the goals that have been scored and the substitutions. Bellingham was caught late. Referee plays the advantage. Vinicius Junior left-hand side. Modric now takes over. Modric, Carvajal is out wide on that far side, all in white, playing from right to left. BBC Sounds, Radio Manchester and 5 Live. Southampton have beaten Coventry 2-1 in the Championship. Full time at St Mary's. Modric now spreads it out towards Carvajal. Volleys the ball back first time. Tchouaméni playing at the back for Real Madrid. Everything going through Modric at the moment, now in the centre circle. Finds Valverde, the Uruguayan, scorer of that spectacular third goal for Real Madrid. Carvajal's forward ball. Guardiola will marshal it out. and it will indeed be a goal kick. Full time at Deepdale. Sandy Rudavagula.
Well, behind at the break, Preston have turned it around. Preston 4, Huddersfield 1. Will Keane from the spot, and then 3 superb finishes from substitute Militon Osmajic. A 15-minute hat-trick for him. The playoff push on for Preston. A hammer blow for Huddersfield. Preston 4, Huddersfield 1.
Full time at Millwall, Aaron Paul.
Millwall 1, Leicester 0. A stunning strike from Ryan Longman gives Millwall all 3 points and propels them up the table. Leicester now just a point clear of Leeds at the summit. Millwall 1, Leicester 0.
Yeah, Millwall 4 points clear now of the relegation zone. Sheffield Wednesday with that fight back at Hillsborough are actually level on points now with Huddersfield, but because of their inferior goal difference, Wednesday do remain in the relegation zone. 5 Live BBC Sounds. In the Champions League, Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2. 3-3 here. What a prospect lies ahead next week for the return legs.
Brilliant. I mean, what a game. If it's anything like this year, wow, it's been absolutely brilliant.
Here is Akanji running back inside his own half. Mansfield, we know, have already beaten Forest Green, but full time in Stockport's game at Colchester. Andy Stevenson.
Stockport beat Colchester 2-1 in a cracker. It means that Stockport are virtually guaranteed to go up to League One, but that win for Mansfield means they're not quite there mathematically yet. Colchester stay in the relegation zone. Colchester 1, Stockport 2.
And Wrexham as well. Convincing winners, beating Crawley Town by 4 goals to 1. Grealish left-hand side of the penalty area, looks to win a corner kick. The referee says no, it'll be a goal kick. With that win for Mansfield, incidentally, they go 2 points clear of MK Dons back into an automatic promotion spot. So Stockport 83, Wrexham 79, Mansfield 76, MK Dons 4th, 74, but they have played 1 game more than Mansfield Town. There's a stoppage in play. We'll go to Arsenal. John Southall.
Approaching the 90-minute mark, Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2. Is there a winner in this first leg? Thomas Partey's come on for Havertz just to firm things up. Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2.
Thank you, John. Change is being made here for Manchester, for Real Madrid. Joselu is coming on to replace Vinicius Junior, the former Stoke City and Newcastle United striker who's on loan from Espanyol, coming on. He's scored 13 goals, which is actually more than he managed for Stoke in a season and combined for Newcastle in 2 seasons at St James's Park. For the Spanish international who made his debut for his country at the age of 32. But the stoppage in play, Alvarez is going to be coming on for Manchester City. We have 4 minutes remaining. Foden is the one who's been getting treatment. Chris Waddle.
Tell you what, the substitution here has been, Modric has changed the game for Real Madrid when he came on. It was all Man City, wasn't it? And then they took Cruz off and brought Modric on, and he got straight on the ball straight away, up the tempo, got them playing, switched the play, started doing everything, dictating the ball, and he's been the change.
Foden is struggling here. He's limping quite heavily. He's going to come off the field of play. He's going to be the one to be replaced by Alvarez. We'll go back to Arsenal for the closing stages. John Southall.
Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2. Munich nearly got a third though. Coman at the near post. Raya was there, Matt.
Yeah, we're at that stage of the game where Arsenal feel like they need to get the win. They're chasing a little bit. They've got to be careful they don't switch off defensively. It was good play from Bayern. Worked it to the byline. It got cut back, and it either hit Raya or the post and just pinged out, but a real warning shot for Arsenal.
The board's gone up. 5 minutes of added time. We're just into it. Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2.
Well, you're ahead of us. We've still got 3 minutes remaining of normal time here inside the Bernabeu Stadium on 5 Live, where it is Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 3, for what has been a terrific game of football. Mendy, Alvarez is on. He's quickly to chase down Mendy as they play out from the back. Rudiger, Alvarez hard-working. It was a hurried clearance by Rudiger. Akanji steps forward, gets there ahead of Joselu. Akanji now out towards Alvarez, plays it then to Bernardo Silva. Akanji's the one who wants the ball played to the right side of the area. Instead it goes to Alvarez, but it's taken away from him by Brahim Diaz. Bernardo Silva then dives in, catches the former Manchester City player, and Bernardo Silva is going to get shown a yellow card, and he's duly booked by the French referee.
Yeah, really so. I think Real Madrid have had to put subs on. I think that to get back in the game, as I said, Modric was a key substitution for them. They ran themselves out of legs, basically, 4 or 5 of them, and the substitutions have paid off for them.
Quickly give you the full-time scores in League 2. Colchester 1, Stockport County 2, Doncaster 2, Walsall 1, Harrogate beat Grimsby by 1-0, Mansfield 1, Forest Green 0, Morecambe 0, the 10 men of Crewe 1, Newport 1, Accrington 3, and Wrexham beat Crawley by 4-1. Carvajal, right-hand side, hooks the ball forward, goes away from the penalty area, and it's then cleared by Rodri. We have 90 seconds of normal time remaining. Real Madrid with Bellingham, forward, lays it out to this near side. Played them back by Brahim Diaz. Mendy on the left-hand side. Camavinga. Brahim Diaz, who's had 3 loan spells away from Real Madrid at Milan. Of course, he reached the Champions League semi-finals last year, which was stopped by Inter, of course. But Real Madrid coming forward, cross fired in, and it's a very good header behind under pressure from John Stones, because Joselu was lurking.
That man again, Modric won it, picks it up, inside right, 15, 20 yards from the 18-yard box, and he whips in a great ball with his right foot, and John Stones, great positioning, heads it away for a corner.
60 seconds remain of normal time. Modric takes the corner quickly. Brahim Diaz gives it back towards Modric. Finds Brahim Diaz once again. Shot deflected. Might come out here towards Carvajal. Flushes the shot wide, left-footed, outside the D, out for a goal kick. I'll give you the full-time scores in League 1. Blackpool beat Fleetwood by 1-0. Bristol Rovers 0, Reading 2, Charlton 2, Wigan 2, Cheltenham 0, Carlisle 1, Leyton Orient 2, Exeter 2, Stevenage 2, Barnsley 1. We've been round the grounds in the Championship. You know the full-time scores there. Apart from the latest score that it remains Leeds United 0, Sunderland 0. So that would actually take Leeds United above Ipswich on goal difference, but Ipswich would have a game in hand. We'll find out how much added on time. 4 minutes. 4 minutes of added on time, which we're now into here at the Bernabeu. Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2 in stoppage time at the Emirates. 3-3 here at the Bernabeu Stadium on 5 Live. So much live sport to look forward to. The US Masters starting on Thursday. Coverage on Thursday night on Sports Extra at 8. The Grand National this Saturday afternoon. That gets underway at 4 o'clock. 5 more Premier League commentaries. Scottish Premiership game tomorrow at Dens Park. Europa League coverage to look forward to on Thursday. If any of it has been as good as tonight, then we're in for a treat.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the games, to be fair, I think Man City's dominated. Probably they'll win the possession stats, but Real Madrid have played their part. They've never give up. They've always caused a threat, and City will be disappointed. I mean, both teams will be disappointed to concede 3 goals.
The reaction, if you're unable to stay with us, we're on air until 10:30. We'll be on the 5 Live Football Daily Pod. Akanji on the halfway line. Bernardo Silva wraps his left foot around it on the right-hand side, plays it early. Rudiger clears downfield. Guardiola is running back, heads it back towards Ortega. And Ortega with his feet in the first minute of that 4 allotted minutes to be added on. Ticks by here inside the Bernabeu. Akanji. Spread out by Rodri. Out towards Guardiola. Grealish midway through his own half, being pursued by Carvajal. Little nudge from Carvajal, who picks up a knock in the process. He's hobbling. Grealish has stayed down as well. Carvajal struggling. Stoppage in play. 3-3.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about this game for a while, won't there? People will go on about it, and I mean the return leg. People can't wait for it if it's anything like this.
Yeah, and City's undefeated run in Europe is going to continue. An English record to 23 games, albeit their winning run in the Champions League, a winning run of 10, is going to come to an end. But given the circumstances, Pep Guardiola, I'm sure ahead of the game, would have taken this, especially with the news that Kevin De Bruyne was ill and unable to take part, pulling out of the starting 11, which would have disrupted the plans of Pep Guardiola. 3-3 and all to play for at the Etihad, where Manchester City are closing in on what would be
it's a great result, by the way, for City. If they said you'd get a draw in your first leg, which they did last year, you'd take it, wouldn't you? But if you score 3 goals, you think you should win it.
Yeah. Unbeaten in 40 home games in all competitions. The record is 42, which stretches back all the way to 1921, when Ernest Mangnol was the City manager. As it's a free kick to Manchester City, and we have 60 seconds remaining here. 3-3. They're still playing at Arsenal. 2-2 at the Emirates. In fact, they've just reached full time, so we'll get reflections from John Southall and Matt Upson with Kelly very, very soon. But it's finished Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2, and we have less than 60 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and this is I mean, if Arsenal's game's been as good as this, and wow, what Champions League night that's been. But this has just been enthralling and kind of take eyes away. You don't know what's going to happen next.
No, you don't. Whether there's time for a 7th goal of the evening, I'm not too sure. But Mendy will find Modric midway through his own half, and he's got a bit of space to run into before he's closed down by his fellow Croatian, Kovacic. But Modric bypasses him, and on the halfway line passes it out towards Valverde. And Valverde now head down, runs forward over on that far side, the right, down towards the corner flag, and wins the throw for Real Madrid, a matter of yards up from the corner flag. And by my watch, the 4 minutes of added on time are all but over.
Yeah, that's it now, isn't it? 3 seconds.
And indeed, there is the full-time whistle. What a superb game of football that we have witnessed here at the Bernabeu. These two sides meeting for a 3rd successive season have slugged it out yet again, and it has been an absolute classic. Manchester City making the dream start when you consider that Bernardo Silva gave them an early lead, then 2 goals in 2 minutes from Ruben Dias and Rodrigo. Real Madrid turned it around, but then Manchester City, as the game fluctuated, scored 2 quick goals in the space of 5 minutes through Phil Foden and Waddle, and they were fine goals too as they led 3-2. But talking of spectacular goals, Valverde was not to be outdone, and he got an equaliser 11 minutes from the end. Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 3 is how it's finished in this quarter-final first leg at the Bernabeu.
Ian Dennis, Chris Waddle, thank you very much. What a game at the Bernabeu, and so beautifully set up for the return legs next week, when we will have a choice of listening for you. We'll be at the game at the Etihad between Manchester City and Real Madrid, and we will also be in Munich for Bayern Munich against Arsenal. We'll get the latest, or we'll get the update from there, find out how it went in their first leg. But Chris Waddle, we talked before the game about the semi-finals that these two played last season. The game in Madrid ended 1-1, but this feels more like the match-up between them 2 seasons ago. It was much more end-to-end, much more open.
Oh, it was a great game. I mean, if people have listened tonight, hopefully they have, or if they've watched it, they've had a great game to watch. Top players, top teams, absolutely fantastic advert for the Champions League. Great game.